sunshine. Good day, sunshine. I need to. It's Matty and Patty, coast to coast from Brooklyn. This is world champion Pat McMenamin in San Francisco. I am joined by fellow world champion Matt Engler. Say hello, champion.
Hello, champion. How are you?
Love that song, Matty. Totally fits my mood. I mean,
right?
Matty, can I just tell you, I am in such a good mood. Now, granted, I've been busy with work over the past month, and I really haven't been paying much attention since we last spoke following the Cavs' Christmas Day triumph over the pathetic and shook supervillain Warriors. But, you know, I don't know. I can imagine things are pretty great. I mean, I admit, of course, I didn't vote for this president-elect, but the peaceful transfer of power is always a restorative moment, followed by the honeymoon period of a new president. I mean, with that as a backdrop, the Cavs must have been cruising since their big win over the Warriors. I mean, of course, they probably dropped the rematch because it didn't matter as much, and they're resting guys here and there. Maybe they have the second or third best record in the league or something. No sweat off my nose. But either way, the last month must have been great, and I'm just really sorry I missed it, Matty. Just catch me up. Catch me up. What'd I miss?
Oh, Patty.
What? Is it even better than I hoped?
Oh, poor Patty.
What? Does I feel that
Patty.
This was a historic performance I missed?
Patty, I'm going to need you to sit down.
Shit, I already am sitting down.
Things have been rough.
Define rough.
How do you feel about the Dallas Mavericks, Pat?
Well, they're terrible. Do we play them?
Awful. Would you be sad to know that not only did we lose to them, but we looked just abjectly terrible the entire game?
Come on, man. I don't believe this. This is not possible for the team. It's basically the whole roster except for three people that won the greatest NBA championship game of NBA history.
Patty, how would you feel about us playing a team like the New Orleans Pelicans?
Well, they're kind of tough. Anthony Davis is a really good player, Matty.
He is an all-star, perhaps all-NBA this year. What if I told you that he didn't play in the game because he was hurt?
Oh, well, then no problem.
Yeah, you'd think that. What if I told you that we trailed by 20 for most of the game, ended up losing by 2 because we brought it back close, but lost? Useless Pelicans team.
Sorry, that was my spit take noise. I don't know if it came through.
Yeah. That was in New Orleans. What if I told you they came back home a couple days later, ready to get their mojo back against the hapless Sacramento Kings?
Oh, God. At least we got the Sacramento Kings. I mean, come on. Those guys can't get their shit together for anything. Thank God we had
No, for years, right? Easy win. What if I told you that we were up by 11 late in the fourth quarter, blew the lead, lost in overtime, and missed like half our free throws during the game?
Okay, I would say that sounds like the most Cavs thing ever.
Yeah. So suffice it to say, things have not been great, Patty. Things have not been great. I wouldn't go reading the front page of the newspaper either. Things haven't been good on that front. Just I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Star Wars was good, so just watch that about another 25 times.
All right, nice. I gotta watch that until the new one comes out. Yeah. How do you feel with the title? You saw the new title?
The Last Jedi?
Yeah.
Now, this has got to be misleading, Patty. That can't really be The Last Jedi. There's a whole other set of movies they got to make.
I don't know. This is the second movie in the series. That's when things are supposed to go bad, right?
Oh, I guess that's true.
I'll tell you this. My colleague at the office, who is a bigger Star Wars nerd than I am, came into my office just fuming. And I thought something had happened, like there was someone that had gotten laid off or something crazy had happened or someone went nuts. And he was like, Did you see? And like, wait, he started talking about The Last Jedi. He was really pissed. He hates the title. The two reasons I hate the title, and I don't think the title is good, is that, one, for nerds like me and this guy, how do we distinguish between Return of the Jedi and The Last Jedi?
Yeah.
We used to just say Jedi. Now we got to fucking say, what, Return and Last? It's just fucking stupid.
Man, that's a real problem for you guys.
It's a real problem. It's a real problem. And then having two movies with the same word in the title, it's just lazy. However, my theory is it's Kylo Ren is The Last Jedi. Interpret that how you will.
Yes.
So anyway, look, we'll keep this brief because excuse me. I forgot the introduction, Matty. Welcome to the Cleveland Sports Hour. I'm so eager to get into this and talk about Star Wars. Welcome to the Cleveland Sports Hour. We are two self-aware but unapologetic homers who spend far too much time watching, reading, and thinking about the 2016 world champion Cleveland Cavaliers, the 2016 American League champion Cleveland Indians, and rumor has it an obscure team that plays a form of rugby. So if you like to inform intelligent Cleveland fans' perspective on all things, you've come to the right place. So we'll keep this brief because I guess way too much these days, and we haven't been potting as much as we'd like. Let's dive right into what the hell happened to the Cavs, what might have caused it, what can fix it, and whether it's time, finally, in the true time-honored tradition of Cleveland fans, to freak the fuck out. Matty, so like you've been watching the games more closely. I've missed a bunch of them just because of life. Catch me up. What do you see? What do you see as the immediate causes of this shitstorm?
So honestly, and this is as honest as I can be, I'm not freaked out.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw some cold water on all that. Take us back to the beginning of the season. What did we know, Pat? Did we know that the regular season is meaningless?
Oh, beginning of this season. I thought it meant last season where you were freaking out constantly.
Correct. This Patty. This is post-championship. Post-championship chill. Got it. Seeing what this team can do, we know that the regular season just does not mean that much, and I think it is short-sighted of us to say that and believe it and then get into the regular season and freak out. Do you remember in April of last year, just before the playoffs started, we lost a game that felt like a must-win game to the Nets in order to maintain our lead over the Raptors and secure the number 1 seed? Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
An embarrassing Nets team. We were fully healthy. It was a must-win game, and we blew it. And I know that was in the back of our minds, not the back, the front of our minds going into the playoffs saying, I don't know if this team has it.
I know two things. One, I think it was at that game. It was in Brooklyn, right?
It was definitely in Brooklyn, yeah.
Yeah, that was. I think that was the night that I met that random Southern guy who was like Skylar but drunk and weird as shit.
I think that might be right.
Right. But I also remember saying to you in a podcast shortly after that, I can't remember ever hating a first place sports team more than this team.
Yes.
And now I can't remember loving a team more than this team.
Right. So I think we got to remember that, you could say a different one. This is just January, right? And Dan Gilbert was sort of the voice of reason in all the back and forth with LeBron about this, where he's like, it's January. Mm-hmm. It is. So that's one thing. If you told me before the season, it'd be whatever we're in now. It's February 2nd. The Cavs are 33-15. They have a 3-game lead, I think, over the Raptors, and have beaten them 3 times to none, which gives them the tiebreaker, obviously. I'd have said, all right, that sounds fine. Now, there's some circumstances around that aren't great. I was going to say, LeBron's playing so many minutes, but again here, I think LeBron wants to play this many minutes. And all the people who are saying, oh, he's going to wear himself out. Have you not been watching LeBron for his entire career? The dude's at another level for his fitness and the shape he keeps himself in. I trust him to know how many minutes he should play. Before the season, they said they were going to peak him through about this time and then start dialing it back in February around the All-Star break.
That's true. That's true. I mean, look, he already passed peak broke-ass Larry Bird in career minutes, including playoffs, I think last year, right? I think
early this season. It's been a while.
No, I feel like it was last season. I feel like we were hearing about this in the finals, the first finals against the Warriors, that he was like going to pass him soon. I mean, that dude was just like a shell of himself in his final season.
Yeah, and even LeBron looks more. Remember when he first came back to the Cavs and he sort of looked like he'd lost a step a little bit. I don't feel that way now athletically. I do think he is half-assing it in games a little bit, which again I have zero problem with.
Yeah,
I want him to be. He should be half-assing. He's not playing great defense, which is one of our big problems. He's super sloppy with the ball in offense. He's making turnovers that you rarely see him make, just on like obvious passes to Cutter and just throwing it into crowds and stuff, which are un-LeBron-like turnovers. He's just sort of checked out, and he's saying things. I think we'll get into everything he said, but I think it's sort of just to mix it up, and he would like to add another player. I don't think he's messing around about that.
Yeah, you need somebody else to distribute more than anything. You say
right.
What they really mean is distributor. I mean, look, because Kyrie can do it, but that's not really what he's best at or what he's most useful to LeBron as. But,
although Kyrie's assist numbers have been continued to be up, set his career high in assists.
That was last night. It was a theme in the last podcast. He was starting to move down that way. Yeah, 14 assists last night. That's amazing.
So I think, listen, I'd rather them not lose to Dallas. I'd rather them have won that Sacramento game. But honestly, if they shoot halfway decent from the free throw line and don't do some dumb stuff down the stretch, they win that game, and we're not even thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
I was at that game in New Orleans, and
Jesus, that sucks, man.
Sucky game to go to. But New Orleans played out of their freaking minds. I'll tell you that right now. They shot the hell out of the ball. What's his name who used to be on the Rockets? Terrence Jones had the game of his life. The game of his life. Drew Holiday was otherworldly. Their Solomon Hill played amazing. Like, it's not stuff that's repeatable. We took their best shot. We lost by 2 points. It's crappy, but mostly it's just because we're playing lazy, indifferent defense. And I sort of expect us to play lazy, indifferent defense in January. It's not my favorite. I probably would rather they employ some sort of, like the Warriors do, where they're bringing it hard every night and blowing people the fuck out. I'm happy to have a team that doesn't blow 3-1 leads in the finals and takes care of business. So I will trade it 10 times out of 10.
7 and 8 in the January, though. That was a little bit. It's not great.
Yeah, it's not great. And I guess I'd rather be, but again, they're in first place. I think they can get their stuff together. That doesn't freak me out. Now, I think there's some other stuff with the team that we have reason to be concerned about and we should talk about. And maybe this is a good time to do it, right? Like, I don't think it's necessarily the record. I don't think it's losing that stuff, but are the holes that they have now something that we think is going to come back and haunt them in the playoffs? Yeah,
let me bring up the first one that I think has been a cause of at least one discussed much in our group. Is this all about Delly being gone, Matty? Is Delly the answer? Should Dan Gilbert have spent $100 million a year to keep him? Not quite.
I sincerely don't think so.
Yeah.
Now, I sort of wish that they had brought in, especially knowing now that because Mo Williams, how he played last year, would have been very valuable for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the beginning of the year, anyway, before his body started to break down. In retrospect, I wish they brought in a veteran point guard much earlier.
Yeah.
And I don't know that there was anybody great available, and even the guys they're looking at now are not, I don't think Mario Chalmers is going to be back from his Achilles tear. Really, and Kirk Heinrich doesn't do anything for me. Like, I don't know that there was somebody great available. No, nobody great, but somebody serviceable out there for them. But clearly, Liggins is not a point guard. McRae is not a point guard. Felder is not ready. Whatever flashes he's shown has been really mitigated by quite horrible play lately, where it's just a turnover machine. Yeah. They could use somebody in that role. That's definitely true. I still don't think Delly was worth that money, and Delly is not a savior on that end. He'd bring some intensity on D that I would enjoy, and that would be valuable. But honestly, I think DeAndre Liggins brings a lot of intensity on D that I enjoy right now.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Gilbert spent $160 million last year, which included $54 million in taxes. It's not quite the record, but that's fucking a ton of money. It's only second to, I think, a Russian oligarch who had been the owner of the Nets.
Yeah.
And so, so basically the theory behind, the theory in our group, our group of friends behind keeping Delly is a pet cause celeb of Skylar Schmidt, friend of ours. He thinks we should just spend more to keep him and JR, of course, keep JR. And just said, look, he's making $9 million. That's not that much more to pay. Whatever the tax is, but whatever the tax is actually a big, big question because he's the last guy I would keep out of that group. And once you keep everybody else, then you're talking about $23 to $35 million a year in actual money being spent to keep Deli, as opposed to the $9 million that is just in salary. That's what we calculated the cost at. That's at the rate. That's somewhere in that range. I'm not mathematical enough to know that. No one has done a good article on this yet. It's been frustrating, but it's somewhere between 23 and 35 million per year. Per year. This next 4 years, we got this guy. And the thing is, like, next year, we cut our team down to 6 players, and we're already over the cap, basically. And we're in the cap, and that means the repeater tax. And you know who didn't want to pay the repeater tax? A fucking Russian oligarch who did a fire sale on the Nets. So fucking Russian oligarchs not to spend that money. I don't know if an actual capitalist who's running a business is gonna be able to keep doing that shit. So, so that's the thing to keep in mind. It gives you flexibility on the road, and I gotta think. Here's the bottom line. Griff thought convinced Dan Gilbert that we could get a decent enough Deli replacement. For a player who did not play meaningful minutes in the finals that year, he was crucial to us as the injury, help. And obviously, we had Mo Williams during the playoffs and during the finals to help spell certain things. We can find a reasonable replacement mid-season through the buyout clauses that will cost way, way less and preserve much more future flexibility. And I got more with that with Griff. That makes sense. Because, again, I don't really want Mario Chalmers. I don't believe look, I was a big defender of Varejao when he came back from Achilles injury, but everyone warned me about it. It's really hit or miss. I mean, Weston Matthews has come back pretty decently, but not the same guy. I can't imagine Mario Chalmers.
And it took a while.
Yeah, like a whole while. Season.
Chalmers had his injury like a year ago.
That's exactly right.
I don't care if he can help us next year. He needs to help us in the next 6 months. And also, I hate Mario Chalmers. We just got to hold on. Yeah, no, I agree. We just got to hold on for Darren Williams, who will be not atrocious on defense, from what I understand. Like, not great at all. But he's tall, he's big, he's a taller guy, and he still fucking can shoot and pass and dribble. Like, that's what we need. We need a guy who can set guys up, run things, and hit open shots. That sounds like a perfect fit for this team. I'd love to get my grubby little hands on him. That'd be great.
How do you feel about Lance Stevenson and adding that guy?
God, I don't know.
It's not. I mean, can you get room for two JRs of completely different crazy factors? Like, they aren't crazy in the same way at all. I'm not comfortable with it.
No. I mean, I think JR has matured a lot, and I don't think he's in that space anymore. But Lance Stevenson can't get a job in the NBA right now, man. There's a reason for that. It's not like the old Joe, or who did this? PJ Brown, I think, would just sit out the season and be like, I don't really want to play, and I'll just make myself available when somebody's ready for me.
Yeah.
Just because he's basically resting his body. That's not what's going on with Lance. Lance wants to play. Nobody wants to employ him.
Yeah.
So with that plus the I'm less concerned about the antics on a LeBron team than the play, and I don't think the play is there. And what is he? He's not really a playmaker like that.
No, I mean, how tall is he? Does he count as a wing, or is he like another guard?
No, he's a wing.
Yeah. Look, I always like to have athletic wings that can actually do more on offense than, say, Liggins can, right? So that's appealing. I guess that's why everyone's kind of enamored by it, or enamored by it. Mm-hmm. But, like, at least not laughing it out of hand. But is that as important as having, I don't know, another big guy to give us some depth there? We have some depth, not great depth, but we have some depth in the wing. Like, not on defense, but certainly on offense. When we get JR back, we'll be in really great shape. But if losing Kevin Love really means that, like, we don't have much depth in the front court. So I feel like that might be the more important second role to fill.
Yeah, God, I'd like to add another big for sure.
Speaking of,
for sure, and we said this before. The last time we talked, remember we debated the three.
Yes, wing. That's right.
Wing, then big, then point guard, and I think I still feel the same way. It's Corver has been added since the last time we talked.
Yes, he has. I was just about to ask. I take it. And rumor has it, Matty, you were not a huge fan of this deal.
I was not like, I didn't think it was terrible by any stretch, but I also, people were like, oh my God, that's it, we got him. And I did not have that reaction. Part of it is we got shooters. It's like, that's the last thing that I'm worried about is the 3-point shooting on this team, right? So it seemed like it just added into something that we were pretty full at.
Right.
And Corver is not a value add on defense.
Nope.
At all, and offers no playmaking ability, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I really wanted in a wing, is a guy who could spot up and just sit in the corner and hit threes if on occasion at a high 30% clip if we needed him to, but they could really play some hard D and just be athletic. And I don't feel like he can do that.
Well, I will say this in his defense. I tend to agree with you. I think everyone overreacted. I think people overreacted because we didn't think it was possible with the assets we actually gave up, and I agree. I think giving up Dunleavy, Mo Williams, it's not giving up. It's like getting rid of. Plus the TPE. Oh, it was a first-round pick. We had to give up a first-round pick, which is
we did indeed.
It still sort of seemed like we all thought we were going to have to give up, say, Cedi Osman, who's our only young, talented wing for the future left in our cupboard. And at this point, I'm really scared about losing him because that's a potential quality rotation player at super cheap cost. I don't know where we're going to get something like that. We need to kind of keep him at this point. Hopefully, get him over next year. But I will defend him on this level. He's not a playmaker, but he's not just a spot up 3-point shooter that can't play D. He can't really play D, that's for sure. He's been terrible at that this far, but he does give you a few more wrinkles in offense than even a Channing Frye, who's also equally atrocious on D. He is smart about moving off ball. Not that he's so great at doing all that. I feel like early on, Lou overused that, overran him through screens. It was so excited to have a deep toy and was just running it too much. But he's good at it, one, and two, he's actually a pretty decent passer out of the when defenses tilt too much to him or overreact to him. He makes pretty smart passes out of that position. That was a good role he had with Atlanta. So he gives us more dimensions, I think, than, say, just a traditional spot-up shooter. Plus, he can also hit three-pointers at a ridiculous clip. So he fits the system pretty well on offense. But, yeah, it's I feel like he's not as valuable on our team without JR starting. Particularly with Shump not really filling in for JR so much as filling in for Kyrie. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yes, it does. Although I will say Shump has been shooting the ball very well. He went through a little slump there for a bit, but has been shooting the ball great the last
started out
last week and a half or so.
Yeah, it's great to see. That's what's interesting is that a lot of the dynamics are messed up because we don't have a traditional backup point guard, which we're going to get soon. I think Korver's role is different because we don't have JR. We're going to have him back by the playoffs, hopefully. I don't know what role he's going to play. That's a big question mark, which is why I think it was smart to get another scary shooter on the wing that can still play a JR type role in the offense, even if he can't necessarily defend like JR.
Yeah. I guess it makes me think of this is slightly off topic, but you'll get it. The dynamic on this team is so weird. How bad they are without LeBron is one of the weirder things to me, right? I'm not sure. I was watching a game a couple weeks ago, and the Clippers were playing the Timberwolves with no Griffin and no Paul. And I'm pretty sure they won the game. I actually didn't see the very end of the game. I was watching at the gym, but they were up and keeping it close. And I was like, the Cavs, even just without LeBron, 100% would get blown out by Minnesota. I don't know that the Cavs make the playoffs in the East without LeBron.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious. Even with Love and with Irving, I don't know that they make – it's such a weird team like that where it is really set up like a house of cards where if you pull something out, it fails. And so LeBron is obviously the biggest piece there. But I do think having JR out right now, there's a domino effect that we really feel. And it just puts guys slightly out of the roles that they should be in and are really comfortable in.
Absolutely.
And has a compounding effect that is bigger than the sum of its parts. It's bigger than what JR is as a player, right?
Yeah.
It feels that way to me. That's something that this team has. And so when they're all there and going, they can win a championship. I think they could absolutely beat this Warriors team even with Durant. But things get a little out of whack and it spirals out of control fast.
Yeah, it's funny. It's one of those things where I think I've seen someone say this about the difference between LeBron's teams and Popovich's team is, look, when you have a player like LeBron, of course you design the entire team and build the entire team around that one guy. And that when that one peg goes away, the parts don't work. They just don't work because they're designed to work around that one guy. And I think you see that. It's not so much a reflection on Kyrie and Kevin Love and all these other guys. It's a reflection of how they've been built and how they've been strategized to work around him and to supplement him and to augment him, and how he augments them. Like when you take that cog out, they all fall apart. Like if he was gone, I do feel like this. I think, yes, if he was gone, they would be terrible for at least a month. But I think a team with this much talent, problem is that LeBron's one of the better defensive parts of the team, but a team with this much talent, I think he'll claw their way back in to the 8th or 7th seed. But yeah, no, without LeBron, it doesn't work. And I don't know what you're going to be able to do to change that. Except
no, and I don't know if I'm even leveling that as a criticism against the team.
Okay.
Like that's it. You have LeBron, you do what you can to win, and I'll mortgage the future for it. And
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If he gets hurt, we're not winning. I don't really care if we're not a playoff team or whatever, right? Like it just doesn't matter.
Totally.
But it's just an interesting thing about this, and I think something that we should keep in its proper place. So that when they struggle without him, it's weird, and I'd rather it not happen, I guess. But like whatever, we've got a few more years of LeBron. I will enjoy them. Not worry too much about what the team is without him.
It will be interesting, assuming he stays with us in the twilight of his career, which he may not. He might decide when he's not the same guy he used to be, and then go on a fun team tour or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised by it, and honestly, I would not be upset by it.
No, we talked about this after the championship. I don't care what happens.
I don't care anymore.
He did what I needed so desperately.
Exactly. He more than anything,
lifetime pass.
His lifetime pass. More importantly, he made the 2016 Cleveland Indians laws digestible.
Bookable.
I can live with that now because of what LeBron did.
Yeah.
We'll look back and just think about how much we owe to our current happiness to this man.
That's absolutely right.
But I think it's a question to ask ourselves: if he's still with this team when he's in his twilight, how do we build a team around a twilight LeBron with the parts that we do have? I don't know. It might not be possible given the salary cap issues and how much he'll be at that age. But you know what? Don't have to worry about it now, and don't have to worry about it for some time. And I don't know. Honestly, doesn't matter. We already won the best championship in NBA history, so I got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Speaking of LeBron, he's the other part of this that's been a little bit nuts, right?
Yeah.
Can you sum up some of the comments leading up to the ultimate comment, which I will handle? But can you sum up for listeners that have not been following the annual? It's like a tradition now. The annual January LeBron subtweeting, cryptic comments, and general digs at his own team.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it in a reminder. Is that this sort of happens every year?
Yeah.
And I don't know that I agree with motivational tactics. And it's one of the reasons that they asked him if he could be a coach, and he was like, "No, I'd murder somebody." Right? Like his expectations are too high for people, and I get that. So I think I don't listen. I'm not going to really criticize him for it. I'll just admit that I don't get it, and I'm not sure it really works. Mm-hmm. But we're going through doldrums right now. He's seeing what the Warriors are doing. I think he just sort of mixes it up and says stuff. And that basically was just like, we need another playmaker.
Yeah.
And sort of questioned the commitment, in some ways, sort of questioned the commitment of the organization to winning. Like, it's sort of like, I hope we're not resting on our laurels thing. I want to win another, which on the one hand, maybe a little dickish given all the money that ownership has spent, as you indicated, and sort of the magic that Griff has worked to acquire the assets that we do. On the other hand, I don't really mind our best player pushing us to saying, I'd like to get another one of these things. One wasn't enough for me. In a vacuum, I don't really object to that. Maybe he shouldn't have done it through the media, and maybe he should have said it directly to people, but I don't know. I have a hard time getting too worked up about that particular aspect of it. Part of it, the one thing that worries me a little bit, I guess, is that part of it felt like he was critical of guys on the team. I mean, he sort of said that. He's like, we don't really have a backup point guard, and it's no disrespect to DeAndre and Kay and Jordan. Those guys are young and just aren't in a place where they're ready to step up and do that. Mm-hmm. I mean, that is sort of disrespectful, I guess, but it's also just an honest assessment of what's going on. And even that doesn't bother me so much. So that's where I'm at on this stuff. Is I think he does it out of boredom, out of a sense of this is what might inspire people in a guided or misguided way. It doesn't really bother me at all.
And then what did Charles Barkley say?
So Charles Barkley, Mr. Barkley, who I will begin by saying I love Barkley. What happened here is well, usually when people that I both like are fighting with each other, I don't like it. This is one where responding to you with a mouthful of noodles, I'll enjoy this fight. So Barkley essentially accused LeBron of whining and basically said the inverse of what I just said is like, listen, you won a championship. You got 2 All-Stars on your team. Your owner spent more money than anybody else in the league. They just went out and got Kyle Korver for you. What do you want? Stop crying. Shut up and play, basically.
Mm-hmm. And then the Cavs lost to the Mavericks. And my apparent long-lost cousin, ESPN reporter David Meneman, asked LeBron about Barkley's comments. And Matty, allow me to quote verbatim.
Do it. I love it.
What LeBron said. This may take a while, guys. He went off.
Yeah.
I think
he had some shit to say.
He says, and I quote, "He's a hater. What makes what he says credible? Because he's on TV? I'm not going to let him disrespect my legacy like that. I'm not the one who threw somebody through a window. I never spit on a kid. I never had unpaid debt in Las Vegas. I never said I'm not a role model. I never showed up to All-Star Weekend on Sunday because I was in Vegas all weekend partying. All I've done for my entire career is represent the NBA the right way. 14 years, never got in trouble. Respected the game. Print that. Go watch the 93 finals when John Paxson hit the shot. Barkley and Jordan were laughing and joking with each other during one of the games while somebody's shooting a free throw in the finals. But nobody refreshed back then. I went to see Metal at the Garden 2 years ago. We were in New York. They played Portland. I went up to the suite at halftime, and Phil Jackson didn't say one word to me. I'm here to win ball games and take care of my teammates and take care of my what's that word? My posse. I know Barkley wanted. I know Barkley wanted to retire a long time ago, but he can't. He's stuck up on that stage every week. If this makes him want to talk to me, schedule's out there. He knows every road arena I'll be in. They'll just come up to me at All-Star and shake my hand and smile. Let me get the David Meneman finish because he added some little color here at the end. I collect one paycheck from this, James said of his role with the Cavs. There's the owner, Griff's, David Griffin, the GM. I'm the player. Screw Charles Barkley. James put on his baseball cap and offered a parting thought as he prepared to leave the visitors' locker room at the American Airlines Center to head back to the airport for a flight back to Cleveland. I'm tired of biting my tongue, James said. There's a new sheriff in town.
I like this version of LeBron.
New sheriff in town, and I was looking up this quote. I think I saw that LeBron showed up to his next game wearing a sheriff outfit or something. I don't know, or an outfit that
No way.
it could be construed as being sheriff. I'm going to Google it again right now. I saw it.
Oh my God.
LeBron sheriff.
You know what is? I mean, there's so much that's awesome. So much that's awesome about that. One is, and this is something I think you got to really appreciate about LeBron, is that he is a fan and a student of the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So he's back at home in his spare time watching ESPN Classic, which I love. That's what that's what I do, is go home and watch old games on ESPN Classic. I love that he's doing that and watching for it. I love how good his memory is, which is always funny when he tries to claim that he doesn't remember something or isn't paying attention to the box score or something. He's always paying attention to that stuff. Always. His mind's like a steel trap for that stuff. So I love that he did that. And then he was just ready to rattle off all of Barkley's stuff. And I don't know if he did that in a way where he wrote it down on an index card beforehand and put it to memory. I do not think that's how he did it. I think that's just how his brain works, is he had it and he was like, all right, you want to go about Barkley? Let's go. And I love in Barkley's response to it when he's like, yeah, I did his homework. I really did all those things.
I'm trying to find this. First of all, one, apparently he showed up to the next game against the Timberwolves wearing it looks very much like a sheriff type hat. It's like a wide brim.
Could be sort of like the Pharrell hat that was popular for a while.
Yeah, a little bit. So it's a little bit of a stretch, but lovely that after he says the sheriff, a potentially a sheriffy hat. Well, I'm trying to find. Oh, you're right. Matty, there? Are you all right? Matty, did I lose you?
No, I'm here. You got me?
Yeah, a ton of feedback from your phone, I think. Is that mine?
Your end was cutting out a little too. Am I back now?
Yeah, I'll probably cut that out.
Okay.
And actually,
okay.
Watch it for a little bit. I'm trying to find this. God damn it. There's this great story. More details on NBA Finals 1993. All that stuff out. About the shit that Jordan did, and kind of how he completely.
Just owned Barkley.
It's fucking goddamn it. Is this it? Let's see if I can find it. While I'm in the middle of a section, I'm about to cut it out. This is killing it. I just need to get this. Is it in here? I can't find it. All right, so I'll start at this point where so Matty, the part where LeBron was talking about them laughing during free throws, I was reading about this the other day. I don't have the quote in front of me, but there was some book written, I think, by a former teammate, that recounts this story. And apparently, after I think the Bulls went up 2-1 or something like that, they hadn't really lead, or it was close, or it was tight. They had a couple days off between games, and literally Jordan and Barkley went and played 48 holes of golf. Golf, 2 full rounds.
Yes.
2 full, 36.
Yes, I know the story you're talking about. Yes.
2-3 full rounds of golf. Crazy betting, playing, and that Michael Jordan bought him a $20,000 diamond earring, and all that shit. And so the coach is like, Michael, why the fuck did you do all that shit? Why would you do that for him? He's like, Charles Barkley ain't gonna fucking touch me the rest of this fucking weekend. He thinks I'm his friend. He's not my friend. He's a fucking fat fuck. I hate that fat fuck.
Yeah. He's just ruthless.
Ruthless.
A nice reminder that Michael Jordan was a psychopath.
A fucking horrible human being, and a complete maniac. He went out and took. Who's a lovable guy? That's why, like I said, I love Charles Barkley. He's just. I would cry I might cry if he stopped being on TNT's show.
That would be the worst.
I love him, and and this psychopath but fakes friendship with him to get an advantage, and we're talking about LeBron stepping over Draymond Green and getting punched in the nuts as being a total I mean, come on, people. These are completely different things. And also just kind of speaks to like how mind-boggling that whole scenario was. Like, I don't even feel bad for Bryce. Barkley's kind of a dummy. Just kind of, he's the greatest player in the world. Being friends with him. Like, I can see you just falling for that. But that's just down and dirty. Jesus.
Yeah, that story is amazing.
Just
absolutely amazing.
Just brutal.
It's a fun little feud. I mean, Barkley's sort of diffused it from what I didn't get to see it because I was still at work out here on the West Coast. But from what I read on Twitter, Barkley sort of diffused it tonight on
everything was true.
On TNT.
I don't think there's a chance we can be friends, but look, he's sensitive or something like that. Like he was like kind of like half. Yeah. He wasn't escalating it. He was and
he did not escalate it. Yeah, I wouldn't say he buried it, but he didn't escalate it at all, which is probably smart.
Yeah, for sure. But oh man,
it's great. I sort of like when he's on my team anyway. I like angry, shit talking LeBron.
Oh my God! I mean, like that's the thing. I mean, look, the whole future of our lives, Matty, turned on angry LeBron showing up.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Lion shows up and shows the jackals who he is.
Patty, would you like a little bit of breaking news?
Yes. What happened?
It's not quite news yet. Breaking rumor. This is a Dave McMenamin piece that just popped up on ESPN that Jordan Farmar impresses the Cavs and would accept a 10-day contract, and that he is the leader that emerged from the minicamp on Wednesday. And was given assurances that if anyone was to be signed by the Cavs from the workout, which would include Chalmers, Stevenson, and Heinrich, that it would be him.
If anyone's going to be signed out of this trash can.
You know what I have to say to that, Patty?
What?
I don't like Jordan Farmar either. I like him a little more than I like Mario Chalmers, but that is damning with faint praise.
This is the Matty and Patty grade on a potential Jordan Farmar acquisition.
Yeah, that does. Yeah. That does nothing for me.
I mean, I remember being like completely underwhelmed by him out of college. We had a chance to draft him. I remember the Lakers took him. He was good for like a year or two. But I mean, good.
I mean, he was sort of serviceable on those teams, but those were real good teams where you could look serviceable pretty easy.
That sounds like an aging story. I really don't. 10-day contract, I don't mind doing. I guess doing a series of 10-day contracts until the Mavericks release Taron Williams or buy him out.
Right.
Like that, I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine with getting Jordan Farmar in here to like spell guys and help things out. But come on.
Patty, answer me this: How old do you think Jordan Farmar is? Yes.
Oof. I want to say he's much older than he is, but I think he's got to be, 29?
No, very close. He's 30.
Ooh, okay, good. He feels like he's 34.
He does to me, too. I was like, he was on those Lakers teams. I sort of felt like he might have, not on the initial championship run, he was on those teams.
Yeah.
The back-to-backers where they beat the Magic when
I feel like
the Cavs should have played him and
he was drafted in the last 2 years. We had LeBron the first time through. I feel like that's my math.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's been less than 10 years since that. So that's why I was like, 29. We'll see. I don't know.
I also wonder if he just has some residual Sasha Vujacic stink on him, and that's why I hate him so much.
Maybe. I mean, like he played for the Lakers.
Possible.
I like him, so he might be all right. Like honestly, out of that bunch, that's the one I would pick. If I'm being logical and conservative about it, like Lance Stevenson's the one with the most, like Jesus, the most risk, and we don't need more risk on this team.
No.
Jordan Farmar seems like the most serviceable guy that we could put on the team to help, spell.
Agreed, especially if it's a 10-day contract while we wait to see what else plays out. I think that's
exactly. He's willing to do it. That's great. I'm fine with 10-day contracts as long as we don't get sucked into a full-on rest of the season deal at the expense of Darren Williams. I'm kind of dead set on Darren Williams right now because I don't know who else could have that kind of impact. Not that Darren Williams is like a great player anymore. He's also kind of, lost a step. Kind of.
right.
Definitely lost a step. But his lost a step.
Well, that is a.
Go ahead.
Sorry, that is a good part of what this report says is that Farmar. One of the reasons Farmar is the leader is that he's willing to sign a 10-day contract, and Heinrich and Chalmers wanted guaranteed for the rest of the season.
Yeah, no thanks.
So that speaks a little to your point there.
Yeah, I hope that's what ends up happening. Again, getting back to Darren Williams, he's still like that's a guy who would thrive running a second unit, right? I feel like he would be really impressive running a second unit against second unit players, and be able to hold his own against the bigger guys. I mean, I think he's 6'3" or 6'4". Remember, he was 6'4". Isn't he 6'4"?
Darren Williams is 6. He's listed at 6'3".
6'3", okay. But he's like a real 6'3", unlike Kyrie is like 6'3". I feel like
yeah,
maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. He's
but like the kind of 6'3" that I feel
no.
like would be able to hold his own a little better against a Sean Livingston type player, which can burn us.
So Darren Williams this year, Patty, is shooting 43% from the field, 35% from three.
Ugh. All right.
2.7 rebounds, 7.1 assists.
That's nice.
And not much else.
Yeah.
No blocks, very little steals.
Yeah.
13 points a game.
I'll take that. I'll take that. But I know he's playing on a
as a backup point guard for the rest of the year. Yeah, that wouldn't be terrible.
Exactly. So I'm with you at the end of the day about the time to panic thing. I don't need to panic anymore.
No, that's one thing. It's just a mindset thing. It'll be years before I panic.
No, exactly. I'm gonna die on this for fucking years. I mean, I think by the time I'm dying on this, Matty, I'm not gonna care as much about sports. Maybe I think that's what's gonna happen.
That's right.
I think my son will be angry.
That's right.
I think my son will be angry at me about not caring as much. I'll be like, you know what? I don't care, Arthur. It's all. I have a championship. You guys will experience it. Arthur, you were instrumental in it. Saul, you were alive for it, so you have it. You'll remember it because you were barely conscious, but you guys are champions. You were born champions. You have the shirts to prove it. So stop your whining.
Yeah.
I didn't have that growing up. I didn't have any of that shit.
Yeah.
Fucking ingrained.
I think that's right. And mostly I still think the team that beat the Warriors without JR on Christmas Day, the team that came back in the finals last year is still there.
Yep.
And we have a rotation of guys that I trust that when JR is back is still 9 deep, easy.
Yeah.
And even if that means, I think Channing Frye maybe would play a little bit if we played the Warriors in the finals this year. Mm-hmm. He showed he could stay on the court against them on Christmas Day for sure. That's pretty solid. I'll take that plus LeBron and Kyrie and Kevin Love, who's playing much better, and hopefully the Love also lightweight. I think has been hurt for a little while. I think his back has been bothering him. The Oklahoma City game that he left, right? But probably prior to that, and maybe even in the New Orleans game that I was at, I suspect it was acting up a little.
Yep.
Let's take our time and get healthy, and I'm not so worried about anything else.
Yeah, I'd like to see us rest him, like shut him down for 2 weeks, or however long it takes to get him back.
Yeah, I can't. It seems mixed on if he's going to play Saturday against New York.
They're saying, I guess they will try. It's not that they're not trying to shut him down at all, and certainly Kevin Love doesn't want to be shut down. I get that, but if he gets any more setbacks, they got to shut him down soon, so he has enough time, ramp up time to get back into game shape.
But
no, I feel like you hit upon something here that I meant to mention early on when we're talking about what happened to the Cavs is that like we point to the JR being gone things, but JR was gone on Christmas Day. JR was gone in that lead up.
Yep.
Peak, and we played amazingly. Like, yeah, we didn't play great in that. The funny thing is, we didn't play great in that game. We kept talking about how, I will take this. We're losing by like 10.
Yeah.
Big deal. We don't have JR. We shot like shit. We were playing poorly. The fact that we came back, and then, of course, they started to choke. They started to stop playing well, and they went to the problem where they stopped playing Warriors basketball. And KD, who is undeniably the best player on that team, which I love, would just jack up bad shots, frankly, and just cool off. Because like I felt like the way we played on Christmas Day, uncharacteristically, showed our hand a little bit. We showed them how we want to play them, I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong. Whereas I saw us, our second game, we played very strange defense. It was very different. We started trying to not switch. We started trying to fight pace. Whereas I think what I remember the fight is that we basically started switching shit. They didn't want to run a pick. We switched. And we just lived with it. We started switching almost everything. Not everything. There was a few matches we tried to cling to. For the most part, we switched almost everything. And I took away a lot of their motion and forced them to get in something they weren't comfortable with because they didn't have any good one-on-one players except for, say, Curry. And Curry was either hurt or just shook. Frankly, he was shook the way he was. He wasn't hurt. This bullshit. He was shook. He wasn't able to pull it off the way he was in the past. We used to say in the first finals with them, they got to stop playing motion. Just like when Curry goes one-on-one against Delhi, we're fucking toast. Or TT, toast. Like it hits it every time. It's crazy. So it was interesting to me that we started playing something different. I was wondering if we were just trying to try something out. See what they did to counteract it, to use for later stuff. It felt like we had no interest in winning that game. We just wanted to learn shit. So I'm not that concerned about that one, even though we got blown out. It was annoying. I was encouraged that we actually came back a little bit and they had to play their starters long times. But this is the same team that beat them on Christmas Day without that guy. We've added Kyle Korver. That means we've played him more than we would have played Dunleavy, that racist. We never talked about this. Hey, Matt, can we have a round of applause for getting rid of the racist on this team?
You must have been so happy, Patty.
So happy. That's why I was really excited.
So happy.
Not only do we get Kyle Korver, we get rid of the racist. We get somebody who's like actually a real nice team guy. Who
a little addition by subtraction.
Damn straight. I mean, you agree, right? That if you had a choice between Dunleavy and Korver, you'd take Korver, right?
Yes, 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, they're almost identical players. They're both the same age. Korver's a little shorter, I guess, but I don't think there are any real difference in defense. And Korver actually hits more threes and can hit them. He can hit more difficult threes too. On top of that, he has a better rate of threes to get them in more situations, more versatile.
Yes.
So we've added that. I don't know. I like the position we're in. I want to see what we do in the next month with the buyouts and with these potential signings. But, I'm excited for the final stretch of the season where we start playing well again, Matty. Be nice. That would be nice.
Oh, yes. That would make me happy is if we got our shit together for a little bit.
Yeah.
For sure. I would enjoy that. It's not absolutely necessary, but I would enjoy it. That's wasn't on our rundown, but I just want to ask. I think I know your answer to this, but are you interested in trading Kevin Love for Carmelo Anthony? Yeah, that stuff is nonsense, man.
The dumbest shit. Like
who do people think Carmelo is now?
There's a Twitter guy called Snotty Drippin, who I guess he goes back by James Hollis Hoops now because he's respectable now. He did a poll asking, is Carmelo relevant anymore? And it was like 70%. I mean, it's a straw poll, but 70% were like, no. It's just harsh.
Yeah.
And, it's funny. I voted no, and I feel bad about it because he is still relevant. I think that's wrong. It's not that he's not relevant, but like, it was just a reaction to the like Mellow for Love. I was like, that's fucking ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous. Like, what's the age gap?
It's absolutely silly. I don't think we're thinking twice about it.
Is it 4 years age difference?
Yeah, I think at least.
Yeah, and Melo's on decline. He never played defense. I mean, not into Love, but like, Love just fits better with the team. Why would we ever do that? It's ridiculous.
Well, and at a minimum, Love is a better defensive rebounder than Melo is, and that's valuable. I mean, your argument has to be something like Melo can initiate offense, but he can't really.
He needs the ball in his hand. He needs the ball in his hand to shoot and mostly shoot. Not a big assist guy. You need a guy who assists. When you say playmaker, they don't even score. We have plenty of scores. Honestly, and that's the other thing. I don't want to keep us going, but we're going to have a short podcast, of course. Yeah. Kevin Love can distribute. I miss him on the elbow. I miss him making passes out of the elbow. We tried something with him early last year, or it's early into lose term with the team. I'm happy he's doing well. He's obviously having an all-star year, but like I wish we did more with him out of the elbow with the weapons we got. I feel like we still don't have our full potential here.
Yep, I agree with you. And that's one of the things, the lineups they run out at the beginning of the second quarter where it's LeBron and 4 bench guys.
Yep.
I hope when it gets in the playoffs that's LeBron and bench guys.
Yeah.
I'd really like to see him out there with those. I'd like to see them stagger it as much as possible so 2 of the big 3 are on the court at all times.
I do like that, of staggering those 3 guys and making sure 2 are on at all times, especially against the Warriors. Now that they got 4 guys that are, studs that we have to deal with and manage.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the best part. And again, don't forget this. Don't forget this. This is a complete stroke of ridiculous luck that was not because of light years ahead thinking. I'm sorry, Joe Lacob. Is it Lacob or Lacob? Who gives a shit? I don't give a fuck, man. Don't answer that. I don't give a shit. Fuck him.
It's Lacob. It's Lacob, Patty.
Lacob, then. I'll call him Lacob.
Yeah.
Jacob Lacob.
Situation.
Jacob Lacob did not invent Curry's shitty ankle that got miraculously stopped being a persistent problem, which led to a ridiculously affordable contract. 1, 2, yeah, okay.
Yep.
I'll give them credit. They got Draymond Green, but no one, absolutely fucking no one, expected this out of him. 2, that crazy thing. 3, look, again, they made a great pick out of Klay Thompson. Again, no one expected him to be hitting like that or to be turning into this kind of defensive player. But hey, those things all work out. Like, they get their credit for some of that stuff. But most of this is predicated on the black swan event of Draymond Green becoming the player he was, given his like fucking psycho nature. 2, Steph Curry's ankle. None of that's possible without that. And also none of that's possible without Kevin Durant. I'm sorry, just being an absolute goddamn fucking pussy.
Yeah, and blowing that 3-1 lead.
I was going to say, he blew a 3-1
I
lead.
think he goes there if they beat the Warriors in that series. Even if the Cavs win in the finals against the Thunder, I don't think he leaves. Like,
Matty, I'm not going to take back what I said about LeBron when he left the Cavs for the Heat, excuse me. I'm not taking it back. I forgive him, for sure. I think I totally understand what he did. And honestly, on a personal, like, human being level, I totally understand what Kevin Durant's doing. It's fine. It's totally normal. But in the realm of trash talk, dude, that's way more of a pussy move and bullshit move than what LeBron ever did. You left a team lead to who had already had the records and everything in the world except the finals by 4 points. You're going to join that team and go, that's how you're going to establish your legacy? You're bullshit.
Yeah.
But they win. Who gives a shit? That's a ridiculous black swan event. And, fuck, we got our championship against a fucking great team. And those guys can fuck themselves forever.
Whoa, Patty. Finishing hot.
Finishing hot. That's right. I had wine during the podcast. Anything else you want to add, Matty?
No, I think that's it. It's the headline for me is don't panic. And my biggest worry down the stretch. I'd like to add a player, but that's less as a rotation player for the playoffs than as somebody to just sort of take a load off.
Yeah.
For the rest of the regular season. And I think my biggest worry other than that is JR coming back and being in game shape.
Yeah.
In time for the playoffs. I think that's a legitimate concern, and it's bad luck. There's not a whole lot we can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, this is still the team that won last year. And for all the reasons I cited, which is before the year, we would have said, whatever, we're in first place by a couple games. It's Boston now, actually. I didn't realize it vaulted ahead of Toronto.
Oh, wow.
Place in the East. Yeah, they're 2.5 games behind us. Toronto's 4.
How little we care about the rest of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
A little respect.
So, like, and still, I feel, I don't know that we even need the number 1 seed in the East. I still feel that way, right? Like, so that stuff doesn't matter. I'm not worried for that reason. And I'm not worried because I felt worse about them later in the season last year, and they won the championship. So I think we can take a deep breath and enjoy the ride and not stress, man. We want it. That winning means never having to say I'm worried.
Goddamn right. I believe pitchers and catchers report in 9 days, Matty. That's exciting.
Yeah. I'm very excited for the Tribe this year. Tribe just spent another $5.5 million on a lefty reliever today.
They did? Who did they get?
Boone Logan, who was on the Rockies last year.
Okay.
The second lefty out of the pen. They're spending some. I'm excited, man.
All right.
At the upper reaches of the minors. Yeah.
Awesome. And at some point, we're going to play some form of Greco-Roman wrestling in the city of Cleveland, and things will be great. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. That does it for the Cleveland Sports Hour. Until next time, this is Matty and Patty saying... Ship. Nice one, Matty. Didn't get that one.